Morgan was being a butt when it came to coming in. Hello and welcome. I'm Stooch. Today we are going to be continuing the Great Ace Attorney and finding out. Let me mute my phone. Let me put my phone on vibrate because it does a lot. I get way too many notifications. I don't even know why. But anyways, we are going to be continuing the Great Ace Attorney. Give me a moment while I make sure my now live notification went out on my Discord, which you can join here. And then we will get started. And there it is. There we go. And get the controller set up. There we are. Continue. Now then, Lord Van Zieks. I know that if it was the proper German pronunciation, it would be Zieks. But I believe it's supposed to they want it to rhyme with yikes. No game audio. What do you mean no game? Well, right now there is no game audio, Pokey. See? This trial is rapidly descending into a farce. No, it's there. Like a corked wine, the first few sips are bitter enough. I can see it on my mixer, or in OBS. Okay, it was just way too quiet. But what follows is so repugnant, it's good for nothing save the gutter. If I may, Lord Van Zieks, the defense has just put forward a credible alternative explanation for what happened. Incredible. Is that your considered opinion, Mr. Foreman? The defense's argument is a joke to which I barely know how to respond. But let me start by insisting that you must all familiarize yourselves better with the relative positions of those places being discussed. And what do you mean by that? Well, before I do this, I need to fix some stuff. There we go. What's his angle this time? So I just remembered what's going on. So we put forth that not only was the book thrown out of the Gyaradev home, but the knife as well. It should already be more than apparent that between the crime scene and the Gyaradev household runs a rather wide street. I've completely lost it. So I'm going to say this, Briar Road. I'm going to say this, Mr. Zieks. I'm not even going to honor you with the van we're from. But if we look at the court record and we look at your map, you're saying that the defendant, one very bookish Susuki Natsume, was able to jump a 2-meter gap here, you're telling me that a person couldn't throw a book that far? Let alone a knife. Which means that the distance from the Gyarados house to the scene is some, yes, 15 yards. Let me see, 15 yards. 14 meters, yeah. Again, let me double check this because I don't believe... I mean, Japan hadn't adapted the meter at this point, I believe. Okay, was officially... So, yeah, they weren't even introduced to the meter yet. Because Japan was introduced to the meter in 1875. And the Great Expedition, which is when this is supposedly... about the time this is taking place, was 1851. But we have seen some evidence that maybe this was taking place in 1860 as well. But either way, I don't know why they're referencing the meter here. The only reason I can think that they're referencing the meter is so that audiences, non-American audiences at this point, I mean, the British still use a very weird amalgamation of imperial and metric measurements. There's a fantastic video about the way that the British use imperial and metric measurements. I'll link it in the interesting videos section of my Discord later, because it's just wow. I mean, that's not solely what it's about, but it is a significant portion of it. It is a perfectly valid reason, but at the same time, it still feels contrived to me. "14 meters? Oh. What's a 15 stream streak in Imperial? Still 15 streams, Pokey. Oh, that's a little farther than I imagined. Yeah. For those that don't know, 15 meters is 45 feet. Or, yeah, 15 yards is 45 feet, not 15 meters. Because 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. 1 foot is 12 inches. So, roughly 26 centimeters, I think. No, that's not right. 24 plus 6, 30 centimeters, excuse me. One yard is 3 feet, or roughly 90 meters, or 90 centimeters. Again, I'm doing a lot of rounding here because if I tried to do the 0.54 times 12, I mean, that, I guess that would be another 0.48 centimeters. I would have to convert it all to millimeters at that point to really be able to do a full conversion. So yeah, but either way, 45 feet or 14 meters. And as you ladies and gentlemen of the jury rightly noted as having portentous significance, the fourth book was found in the victim's clutches. Yes, because it hit the ground in front of them, and they bent over to pick it up, and the knife, flying through the air, hit them in the back. And I assume that they're talking about the width of the street was about 14 meters. I'd have to double check it. Let me take a look at the history. Okay. Yeah, so he's saying that our bookish friend can jump 6 feet. I don't think I can jump 6 feet. And that our so that feat of physicality is perfectly reasonable. But the wife of Mr. Garrideb growing materials 15 feet or 15 yards or 45 feet, 14 meters, take your pick, is not. I am confused by this. In other words, the smoldering book wantonly hurled by the lady of the house traveled some 15 yards to land on the opposite side of the road, neatly between the collapsed victim's thumb and fingers and thumbs. And thumb. Dude, I swear. What other way around, Pokey? Did I say 15 meters or 14 yards? Rather than 14 yards or 15 meters? Or, I mean, rather than 15 yards and 14 meters? Oh, talking of Enze, yeah. She bent to push up the book? Oh, no, to pick up the book, yes. Yeah, Van Zieks is absolutely like, this is such bogus bull. Was that your final conclusion, my learned and deluded friend? No. And did the jackknife follow a near identical trajectory and plunge into the middle of the victim's back? This fantasy is somewhat stretching the notion of having a bad day for the victim, I think. Even those pathetic serialized detective stories have more believable plots. There's nothing I can say to that. Stranger things have happened. Truth is stranger than fiction, as they say. That prosecutor loves the sound of his own voice. Yes, he does. He also loves manipulating stuff. Mr. Sato? Serialized detective stories are pathetic, are they? How dare he? Okay. Maybe let's pick our battles here. My lord, might I be allowed to speak? As judicial assistant, you may speak for the defense. Yes, go ahead. Yep. Absolutely. The prosecution may consider the idea of fantasy, but what the defense has postulated was believable enough to persuade the jury to change its leaning. And as such, the court has a duty to explore this alternative explanation as thoroughly as possible. To that end, juror number 4, Mrs. Joan Garridem, must be called to testify and submit to cross-examination. This is why she shouldn't be a juror. Saints alive! A cross-examination of a juror? It has been shown fundamentally that she is in some way connected to this case. So yes, it makes perfect sense for her to have to testify. And I am... Order! 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 Well, this is highly irregular. It is unprecedented for a member of the jury to be summoned to the witness stand. Well, honestly, it's unprecedented that somebody who is who is the wife of the landlord, for the defendant to be summoned as a juror for the case and not removed for conflict of interest in one way or another, and not be called as a character witness at least.
Objection!
And unnecessary. Lord Van Zieks? There are already witnesses in the stand whose testimony the defense may further cross-examine. Oh, nope, because they didn't see it. Oh my god. Can someone You're just trying to protect your case. If my learned friend's farcical theory has any truth in it, then both a burning book and jackknife must have been flown through the sky before the couple's eyes. I'm sorry. I don't think so. It depends on when they arrived. Because what they said they saw was the woman fall over and him run. That's all they saw. All they said they saw. And even if the fog was less dense than other times, it's still not sufficient. And we must assume that they would be able to testify accordingly. So, give me a moment. I'll be right back. I have my own evidence. So let's take a look at, let's see, if we go to the court record, we go here. As I understand it, our witnesses, let's see, come on. Here we go. Raleigh beat and Patricia beat, right? as I understand it, they were coming from this direction. They had just rounded the corner, and they saw her fall over here, right? Does that sound about right so far? I'm waiting for a yes or a confirmation of some variety before I continue. Okay, I got a confirmation of some variety from Pokey. Whilst walking, yep. Wife of she's relatively recently married and fiercely proud of her policeman husband. Okay. This is effectively a jackknife. It is roughly the same size, I presume, as the weapon of assault. Do you think you and assuming this is 14 meters, I would say this is roughly 3 times that distance. Right? If this would be about 3 times that distance, so this would be 32 meters. Or no, 42 meters. Right? Roughly 42 meters. Do you think from 42 meters you'd be able to see something this small? I'm not going to open it because I don't want to get flagged for anything. Because who knows what YouTube and Twitch are going to do. Just with this. Do you think you would be able to see something this small from 42 meters away? Like, them testifying as to whether or not they saw the knife flying is a ludicrous idea. Would you not agree? And we must assume that they would be able to testify accordingly. What say you, witnesses? Yes, sir. Constable Raleigh Beat reporting for duty, sir. Well, good morning, officer. Sorry for dozing until now, sir. I haven't slept for a month on account of a villain who's appeared on my beat, sir. I'm sorry, what? Okay, that doesn't give me that information. 17th of February. And what day is it today in the game? Because they don't give you a way to verify that. Which I think is probably the worst part. Like, I can't go up high enough in the history to see it. I think it's only been like a couple of days. So, what are you talking about? Oh, they are so heroic, these London bobbies. Patricia, my darling, I've neglected you, but no more. Oh, Raleigh, my hero, you make me swoon. Yes, I know, it's a different voice. I can't remember what she sounds like. Very well, I hereby reject the defense's request. They haven't testified that they could or could not testify to whether or not they could have seen the things that the Zieks has said that they could. W. T. F. Oh. And order the witnesses on the stand to testify. Again. Not again, sir. State forthwith before the court any details pertaining to the defense's alternative explanations. Oh my gosh. Windows update. Restart to install the latest Windows updates. Estimated time 6 minutes. Snooze, please. Thank you. He looks like a horse with a bit, with a bridle and bite, or a bit. With his chin strap in his mouth like that. Yes, sir. Constable Beats report. This case has nothing to do with Mr. and Mrs. Garda. Believe me, a London Bobby is good for his word. You see, sir, the window on the top floor of the Garda house are top-hinged casements. Obviously, if anything had been thrown out the window, we would have seen it. Who can be faster, me or Pokey? Me. Obviously, and if anything had been thrown out the window, we would have seen it. I did leave the scene to go fetch help, but my trusty Raleigh was there to make sure nothing was disturbed. Is Pokey upset that I was faster? I didn't take my eye off the crime scene for one moment, sir. Nothing strange to report on that front, sir. Well, this is quite startling. Top hinged casement windows. That detail was not in the police report, Constable. Well, if it... yes, sorry about that. I must have been a little drowsy. Sorry for the wrapper crinkling. Let's take a look at the police report that was submitted. Case file. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, I find this case file to be very... You cannot excuse your sins with drowsiness every time, Constable. No, sir! Sorry, but what exactly is a top hinge casement window? And you can not excuse your ignorance with such trite remarks, my learned friend. Okay, so we've been in the UK for exactly 3 days. No, 2 days. This is our second day. Is there a second or third day? It might be our third day. First day, we took on the case of McGilded. No. And then the second day we did the investigation for today's trial. So this is our third day in the UK. London specifically. So I think it's perfectly reasonable for someone from especially Japan at this time period to be like, what is this? And of course, sorry. Don't let him bully you, Ryunosuke. I found it, Mr. Naruhodo. Cast your mind back to the windows in Mr. and Mrs. Garadeb's room. All right. I'll try. So the window opens in order to allow air to circulate inside the house. But as it's a top hinge casement window, it swings open along the upper edge, you see? I mean, no, that makes sense. Apparently, Mr. and Mrs. Mr. and Mrs. Garadeb are fans of Twix. Notice their plate, TWX, obviously Twix. I'm glad you rectified your ignorance. A casement window's most prominent feature is its stay, a metal bar which prevents the window from being opened beyond a certain amount. It prevents its opening. It prevents it opening. This is all news to me. Absolutely correct, sir. In other words, if a book or knife were to have been thrown through the open window, it would have clattered against the pane and fallen straight down to the pavement below. No. I have a working theory, but it'd be very difficult to prove. Do you want to hear my working theory? Twitch, YouTube. Yeah. You'll see the problem then. Good. Your education in Windows is complete. No, it's not. There are so many different types of windows. And actually, there are some windows that can work either via upper casement, or you can do side, or upper hinge, or side hinge, depending on which lock you undo. And then beyond that, there's, probably some that you can do upper, side, or even slide up. And how does Raleigh know what type of window they are, since you can't see them? You can't see the type of window from the exterior unless it's open. I guess that would explain how. Well, I'm going to tell you my theory anyways. So my working theory, is that it started off with Olive under the window here, where the book fell, and then the knife, and then she staggered over here and fell after the knife stabbed her in the back. And she collapsed, possibly due to blood loss. But this is just a theory. But it's hard to tell. Because the picture is very focused in here. We have not been provided any evidence of a trek from this side over to here. I keep doing it on accident, and I can never do it on purpose. Unless I, No. I just wanted to line up the X with the magnifying glass. There was never any possibility of either the book or the knife traveling 15 yards over the road. That isn't unless the window pane had been shattered or something we've discounted already. No, that can't be. Did you see that, Raleigh? That young Japanese man just collapsed in agony. Oh yes, my darling. I saw it. I saw how he crumbled before me. Oh, Raleigh, you're so strong. How is this happening? I haven't even started the cross-examination yet, and already my argument's been destroyed. Counsel, if you could drag yourself upright, the court awaits your cross-examination. My lord. Oh, good. Another desperate situation. The type of situation in which I thrive. All right, let's see.
Hold it!
Hold it! How can you say for certain? How you can say that for certain? Very good question, sir. And the answer is this. The warrant card? How? Explain. Has the noble founding principles of the force written on it as a reminder to us, to all us policemen of our sworn duty. He showed us that before, didn't he? Did he? I can't say I remember. To patrol the streets of London town and uphold the peace of the common man is what the job's all about. And that is why I can stand here today beside my long-suffering wife and tell you a Bobby's good a Bobby's good for his word. Can we see what it says inside of it? While rubbing my tired eyes, admittedly. So, oh, Rolly, you're so manly. Of course I am, my darling Patricia. Oh, Pat. Oh, Rolly. Oh, bother. No, none of this is what I meant. I meant, how can you say for certain that this case has nothing to do with Mr. and Mrs. Garrideb? Oh, I see, sir. You should have said so earlier, sir. Yes, well, so could you answer the question? That was a waste of time, then. Absolutely, sir. I will answer to the fullest of my ability, sir. There's a surprising reason why Mr. and Mrs. Garrideb's domestic dispute can't be related to this case. But before I get into that, sir, just one thing. Yes. I'd very much like you and all your countrymen to understand the great British institution of Scotland Yard. So I hope you'll take back some tales of us to London, tales of us London bobbies, and how we uphold our guiding principles. I wasn't planning on going back just yet. I just arrived here. So to that end, sir, I'd be happy to lend you my warrant card for your perusal. Thank you. I must warn you, you won't be able to get through it without shedding a few tears, sir. Thank you. I'll try. Constable Beats' warrant card has been entered into the court record. A policeman will strive to preserve the peace within his allotted beat. A patrolling officer is expected to walk 20 miles around his beat every day for the furtherance of community relations. Any crimes fall under the jurisdiction of the beat in which they are discovered. When a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman must assist with initial investigations to help detectives. Metropolitan Police Regulations and Principles of Policing. Now I smell that the body was moved. Okay, why do you have that opinion right now, Pokey? We've already been through the casement thing, so I'm not... Well, actually, wait. How does he know? We've already...
Hold it!
By which you mean they don't open fully, is that correct? Yes, sir. I mean, it's not surprising that the body might have been moved, because we are establishing Because we are establishing that that he has a certain jurisdiction. Ah. They're just there to allow a bit of air through the house, you see? So they're restricted as to how much they open. And therefore anything thrown out the windows from inside the room would simply strike the pane and fall to the street directly below. For clarity, allow me to mark the map. Here is the location where objects would have fallen. Yes. Directly opposite the scene of the crime on the other side of a rather wide road. Would it have been so hard for somebody to mention this top hinge casement thing before? Well, I have another question for you, Constable. And what would that be, sir? How do you even know? Why would you have any idea what sort of windows Mr. and Mrs. Garadub's house is furnished with? Ah, well, sir, that's very simple. You see, I helped with the investigation yesterday.
Excuse me.
Do you have something to add, Mrs. Beat? Sorry? Sorry? You look, well, delighted. Is there some particular reason for that? Oh, I was just remembering that's all. We really were so lucky. Lucky? What do you mean? Well, of course, I feel terrible for the poor woman who was attacked. Don't misunderstand me, please. But we were just lucky it didn't happen on Raleigh's beat. It was so close, you see. Oh, I hadn't realized. Oh yes, that street, Briar Road, that's the boundary between Raleigh's beat and the next one. Isn't that right, my love? There you go, Pokey. There's what you were looking for. And there's the evidence that the body was moved, or at least that gives the implication that the body was moved. Constable Beat. Oh, yes, that's right. That's the reason I was helping out with the interviewing of the occupants of the Garadub household yesterday. Their house is on my beat, you see, sir? That really is cutting it close then. Constable, I wonder if you could clarify something. If the Garadub household is on your beat, does that mean that the pavement next to it, does that mean the pavement next to it as well? Outside Mr. Garadub's house? Yes, ma'am. The pavement on that side of the road is part of my beat. I see. I was unaware of that. Just think if that woman had been attacked on just the other side of Briar Road. We would never have been able to go for that meal to celebrate our wedding anniversary. But that's the life of a Bobby after all. Extraordinary people are Bobbies, tirelessly working for the benefit of all Londoners. Do you know what I think? I think it was the good Lord's way of rewarding my Raleigh for all his hard work. Don't you think so, my darling? That must be it, Pat, my love. That must be it. I think perhaps we should make sure that we have that information officially on record. Leave it to me, Mr. Naruhodo. I'll take care of it immediately. The case file's information has been updated in the court record. And now it's my turn to think. I think. Okay. Let's see. Let's take a look at... Alright, the pavement where the victim was found lies just outside Constable Beat's beat, the border of which runs down the middle of the Briar Road. Location pavement east side, reporting officer. I really want to be able to well, wait. Let's see what happens if I don't catch on to her. All right. Yeah. Ba-da-ba, we've already read all this. I have another question for you, Constable. How did you even know? Okay. You helped. In what way? Various members of the public were questioned in order to gather information about the case. That's right, sir. The sad truth is, we're all overworked. So even though it wasn't under the jurisdiction of my own beat, I obviously wanted to help. I see. Well, thank you. Okay. Now we've got all of that.
Hold it!
Now I have to figure out how to make it useful. But according to my notes here, the sun had already gone down and it was dark. Oh, but Raleigh and I were strolling along, gazing at the night sky and looking for our lucky star. Sorry? The star that was guiding that will guide us to eternal happiness. Can't it guide you to the answer the question? If a flaming book had cut across the sky in front of us, it would have lit up like a shooting star. And if I'd seen a shooting star, I would have made a wish upon it. Let Rolly be an inspector, I would have said 3 times at least. Of course, what with the smog and everything, we couldn't actually see any stars. In short, are you trying to say that neither the book nor a knife crossed the sky before you? Yes, sir, that is correct, sir. As sure as the night sky in London is starless, sir. It certainly seems like they're telling the truth. And then we saw the poor woman fall to the ground, so we ran straight over to help her. The question is, why wasn't the officer whose beat it was file the report?
Hold it!
Yes, you said that you went to a nearby police box to fetch another officer, is that right?
That's right, yes. Yes. If it had been on Raleigh's beat, I would have known exactly where I was going, of course. Don't feel bad, my love. You can't expect to know the location of every police box on every beat. So Raleigh told me the way, only I sort of got a little lost on the way. Patricia, my darling, that's why I love you. Your terrible sense of direction is bewitching to me.
It's a backhanded compliment.
Oh, Pat. Oh, Raleigh.
Oh, bother. Oh, please. Oh, please.
So I suppose I was gone for about 15 minutes. But like I said, my Raleigh was at the scene the whole time, making sure nothing was disturbed.
I was off duty at the time, of course, sir. Of course, but a true Bobby is never really off duty, sir. All right, so this is the last.
Hold it!
Nothing to report.
That's correct, sir. I had my eyes wide open the entire time, never looked away for a second. No one else approached the scene and nothing was removed from it. I can swear to that on the yard's honor, sir.
Really? That seems a little strange.
Beg your pardon, sir. Strange, sir. It seems altogether regular to me, sir.
This burnt copy of the Lion's Pride was originally in the Garadeb household. So the question remains, how did it find its way into the hand of the victim? Can you shed any light on that, seeing as you were at the scene of the crime the entire time?
Uh-huh. Could it be a different copy, sir? One that just happened to be burnt as well, sir?
Even if it were possible, why would the victim have been gripping a book like that in her hand? As we can see from the photographic print, she had a bag over her shoulder.
Well, sir, that book was in the lady's hand from the moment we arrived at the scene, sir.
Is that so? There's something that's not sitting right with me. There's something about this statement that's not sitting right with me. The two mysteries of how that knife ended up in her back and how that book ended up in her hand. There must be some common thread between them. Fingerprints.
Can I ask you something, please, Mr. Lawyer, sir? Oh, Raleigh.
Oh, yes, of course. What is it?
You're doubting us, aren't you? I can tell.
Hey. What? That wasn't really, I mean... She's playing to the sympathy of the jurors, obviously. But he's a rook. What are you gonna do? What's she doing?
Please, just because I'm a woman, it doesn't make my testimony any less valuable.
It has nothing to do with whether or not you're a woman. Hold on.
You might just see me as the wife of a policeman, but I'm a woman of my word, I am.
I really don't remember ever suggesting that I doubted you.
No excuses. I don't want to hear any of it. My voice will be heard.
Ay.
My lord, you'll let me speak, won't you?
Yes, Mrs. Beats. I will allow you to supplement your testimony if you desire.
Sometimes the path of least resistance is the sage one. Ain't that the truth? That was a very loud mutter. I think it was more meant to be a stage whisper than a mutter. I heard that! I don't know where she got this impression that her house, that Ryunosuke thinks that her word counts for nothing. Oh, whoops, I didn't read that. That Japanese man thinks a policeman's wife's word counts for nothing, does he? Well, watch out, sir. I might let you get away with something like that, but my Raleigh won't. Duly noted, Mrs. B. Please, I humbly ask you to continue. What could she possibly be about to say, I wonder? I know what I saw. My eyes never let me down. My sense of direction is a little off sometimes, though.
Hold it!
Miss B, nobody is questioning what you've told us. I saw it, I did. That evening, I saw it clearly. That little Eastern man with whiskers and the funny curved back, slinking away from the scene. And I know what I didn't see as well. I didn't see any flaming books or knives flying through the sky. All very clear. You also mentioned something about having a poor sense of direction. Oh, yes, well, that's a little embarrassing, really. I always end up at the wrong place when I've made arrangements to meet Raleigh.
Excuse me.
Possible beat. Is there a problem? No, sir. No problem, sir. Did your wife's remark just now bring something to mind, perhaps? Oh, well, in a way, sir. Yes, sir. I was just remembering the same thing happened that evening is all. You mean Mrs. Beat lost her way on the night of the incident? Well, you see, I sent her off to find a police box in the next beat over from mine, sir. But she was gone a fair bit longer than what I was expecting. I thought she'd be back inside 10 minutes, but my darling was gone for a good 15. Oh, Raleigh, you're such a tease. The courtroom's not the place for this. But the reason I was gone so long was because of the bouquet. The bouquet, silly. The bouquet? The bouquet? Sorry, what bouquet are you talking about? Oh, it was a present for our wedding anniversary. Raleigh's so romantic.
He saved up for it with the farthings and halfpennies he found in the gutter while doing his rounds. Yes, how romantic. I'd forgotten about it, all about it until just now. Had you, my darling? Oh, yes. But that was just between us. No talking about it to anyone else, darling. You have to promise. Really? Oh. I'm sorry, what? What? Wait a minute. What was that all about? Constable Beat looked very obviously troubled during that exchange. I'm afraid I can't offer any useful insights, Mr. Naruhodo. Sorry about this. Just wiggling around. But I'm quite sure of one thing. We have to ask Mrs. Beat about that bouquet. About the bouquet. Mrs. Beat, the bouquet you just mentioned. I'd like you to add details about it to your testimony, please. Oh, really? Yes, I'd love to. What happened was I dropped my bouquet and ended up losing my way for a while.
Hold it!
You mean you dropped the bouquet at the scene of the crime? Yes, that's right. Oh, I was so upset. When we ran over and saw it was a woman with a knife in her back. I was so shocked I dropped the bouquet Raleigh gave me. It was in a dark spot. It was in a dark spot where the streetlights weren't casting any light, so I didn't notice it at first. And then you went to the police box to report the policeman whose beat it was on. Yes, and I came back to the scene with the other constable, you see. Why isn't this bouquet, which is now a part of the crime scene, in any of the pictures? That's when I spotted my bouquet again. But the funny thing was, when I went to pick it up, it was nowhere near the victim's body at all. In case you need reminding, Mrs. Beat, the victim is not deceased. I was all flustered for a moment before I heard a voice calling after me from the other side of the road. Your husband, presumably. That's right, silly me. I'd gone over to the wrong side of the street. Is this right, Constable? Although I'm going to blame the bouquet this time. I can't think of how it got there, really, I can't. So the bouquet somehow moved from one side of Briar Road to the opposite. There's the detail you've been looking for, Pokey. Curious indeed. Isn't it? But the worst of it is, I forgot to pick the bouquet up again when we left the scene. That beautiful rose Rolly bought me with that change from the gutter he spent so long collecting. By bouquet, do you perhaps mean this sorry solitary rose? Oh, yes, that's it. That's the bouquet Rolly bought me for our anniversary, with old bits of change he found in the gutter. Maybe just call it a rose. Tell us, Lord Van Zieks.
Where did you come by the flower?
According to a report by the police officer in charge of the crime scene investigation, it was found at the edge of the pavement in front of the Gerardeb household.
In front of the Gerardeb's house?
Although it wasn't noticed until the morning as it lay where the street lamps cast no light. It was believed to be of no relevance to the case since it was found on the opposite side of the thoroughfare.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you. Could I have it back now, please? No, I think for good measure, the rose should be added to the court record as evidence. Oh. The anniversary bouquet. Honestly, I think they should have put the bouquet in quotes, because sometimes, because, I mean, in the past, hasn't Ace Attorney been snarky like that? Has been entered into the court record. A present for Patricia Beat from her husband Raleigh. The shock of seeing the stabbed victim caused Mrs. Beat to drop the rose where she stood. Okay. But it's a symbol of our love. I was hoping there'd be some blood on it. It's very stylish paper. It's a very stylish paper the flower is wrapped in, isn't it? It's a newspaper. It's just an old newspaper, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, I suppose it's because I'm not used to seeing English print. It looks so exotic to me. Ah, I see. Is something wrong? Oh, no, I was just thinking that if you wrapped a stone-baked sweet potato in English newspaper, it might look like some sort of fancy cake. Lonely and withering. Ah, Susato-san, you do love your cakes. An English rose is such a beautiful flower. Ah, an English rose is such a beautiful flower. Ah, this rose is it? This is a rose, is it? I've never seen one before. Do you not take an interest in flowers, Mr. Naruhodo? I wouldn't say that exactly, but I do know 3 types at least. Gosh, 3? Yes, plum blossom, peach blossom, and cherry blossom. Perhaps you should consider branching out, learning some that aren't fruit tree based, for example. Oopsie. All right, I think that's it. I want it back after the trial. Do you hear me? I want it back. Good grief. Rest assured that I shall do my very best not to forget, Mrs. Beat.
Hold it!
Nothing to report. That's correct, sir. I had my eyes wide open. Oh, wait, I didn't read his, did I? I didn't take my eyes off the crime scene for one moment, sir. Nothing strange to report, sir. Nothing to report. That's correct, sir. I had my eyes wide open the entire time, never looked away for a second, sir. No one else approached the scene. Nothing was removed from it. I can swear that on the odds honor, sir. Really? That seems a little strange. Beg your pardon, sir. Strange, sir. Seems altogether regular to me, sir. Okay, it was originally in the Garrideb household, so the question remains, how did it find its way? Okay, this is the same thing we've already seen. Okay, let me double check that. Yep. All right. Well, Mr. Naruhodo, what do you make of all this? Yes. The whole idea of an invisible attacker has been troubling me all along. But I believe I'm starting to get a picture of what really happened here now. The fourth book that had no business at being at the scene of the crime made me sure that Mrs. Garrideb was hiding something from us. But it's become increasingly clear that someone else has been hiding something from us as well. I think I may already be armed with everything I need to strike a decisive blow here. This time, it's going to expose the whole truth about this mysterious affair. The question is, where do I use it? Or what do I press on now? Because we've got this, and we've got this. These are the two new pieces of evidence we've gotten. While I could try to present the lion's pride here, I don't think that it will do me any good. But we can try. Let's see.
Objection.
That's what I figured. Okay. Let's try presenting the bouquet here.
Objection.
There we go. You claim, Constable Beat, there was nothing to report in the 15 or so minutes while you were guarding the scene. But that cannot be. What do you mean to say? In your testimony just now, Mrs. B, you explained to the court that when you arrived back at the scene of the crime with the policemen assigned to that beat, the bouquet you had dropped at the victim's side was no longer anywhere nearby.
Objection.
Yes, on the opposite side of Briar Road to where the victim was attacked. But considering the size of the meager bouquet, a single sorry bloom can be so described. No doubt it was blown in the wind across the street back into the gutter where it belongs. Dude! Meager?
Objection.
But if that were the case, why did Constable Beat not testify to the fact? No one else approached the scene and nothing was removed from it. Constable Beat swore to that on the Scotland Yard's honor. But the bouquet belongs to me. It has nothing to do with the case. That's why Rolly didn't mention it, I'm sure. No, because sadly, it's not only your bouquet we're talking about here. More than one thing in this case is mysteriously in the wrong way around.
What are you talking about?
Think about it. Beside Mrs. Beat bouquet, there's Mr. Garrideb's book. Mr. Garrideb's copy of The Lion's Pride, which was thrown out the window by his wife, would have struck the pane of the casement window and landed here on the west side of the street. And yet, was actually found here on the opposite side of the road in the victim's hand. Funny, I don't think that's where the, So, yeah. He's putting the mark there, but it should be here. Just nitpicky things, you know. Or maybe not. I don't know. Our map apparently doesn't have the sidewalks. Meanwhile, according to the testimony we've heard, Mrs. Beat's bouquet should have been dropped here at the scene of the crime on the east side of the street. But in fact, it was actually found here on the opposite side of the road in front of Mr. and Mrs. Garrideb's house. There's no logic explanation for those things, unless somebody deliberately moved them, or moved the body. What are you trying to say? The way you're talking, it sounds like you think my Raleigh's done something wrong. Don't you listen to a word that scrawny lawyer says. Withering on about books and bouquets. Why should we care? It's nitpicking, that's what it is. Why are you so angry? That's what case law is all about, is nitpicky. Oh good, Mrs. Garrideb's come around. You might call it nitpicking, Mrs. Garrideb, but deliberately meddling with the scene of a crime is a criminal offense. It's called, tampering, Mr. Naruhodo. But the person responsible for this tampering cannot admit to it, for a very subtle but compelling reason.
Objection!
Tampering? You've barely heard the term before. Tell us, my learned friend, who would possibly have had cause to carry out such an elaborate deception? Yes, there's someone who tampered with the scene of the crime that evening. All the evidence and all the testimony points to that one particular person. Counsel, I must demand that you substantiate this conjecture. Who are you saying is responsible for tampering with the scene of the crime?
Take that!
It's gotta be him. Obviously, there's only one person who it could have been. Constable Rolly Beat, it was you! What? A policeman? A member of Scotland Yard? What nonsense! Why would my Raleigh do something like that? There's no one straighter than my husband. No Bobby works more tirelessly for the people of London. Mrs. Beat, you said in your testimony that your husband asked you to go to a nearby police call box to fetch the officer on duty. The 15 minutes that you were absent from the scene is the only opportunity anyone had to tamper with it. You're making it up. It's all nonsense. It's all lies. What about that Japanese man with the whiskers? I bet it was him. He did it.
Objection!
If that was true, Constable Beat would have seen him do it. Oh! And forgive me for pointing it out, but when you dropped your bouquet, Mrs. Beat, it was after the defendant had fled the scene. Well...
Objection!
First you make accusations about the landlord and his wife, and now you incriminate a policeman as well? But your accusations lack one very important thing. You claim the crime scene was tampered with. But there's only one reason anyone would commit such a reckless crime, to hide something.
That's right! He's right! But my husband and I just happened to be there, that's all. So why would we have anything to hide? It doesn't make sense.
You've offered no motive for this alleged tampering. You haven't asked for one. Until you do, your accusations are nothing but empty threats. Constable Beat had a very good reason for wanting to tamper with the crime scene, with the scene of the crime. That's the key to this entire affair. Mr. Naruhodo, have you managed to solve this mystery?
Counsel, you have made a very serious accusation against a London police officer. If you are mistaken, I'm sure I need not point out that your reputation as a lawyer will be irrevocably damaged. With the stark warning in mind, you will now explain to the court the motive for this alleged tampering.
Yes, my lord. Constable Beat's motive for tampering with the crime scene was to hide where the victim fell. Where the victim fell to the ground. That is what this Bobby had to cover up at all costs.
What?
Where the victim fell? You mean where she was attacked? What are you talking about? We told you at the very start, didn't we?
On the pavement of Briar Road, we saw it happen, remember?
It was right here, as if anyone didn't already know. That's certainly what everybody has been led to believe. But in fact, that isn't where the victim was stabbed at all. They were stabbed in the back. Okay, we're gonna wait and then I'll go back and read those two things.
What? I'm beginning to wonder where this tumultuous trial will end, Counsel.
If that is your assertion, then the court is dying to know, my Nipponese friend. Where are you proposing the crime actually took place that evening?
Take that!
But that's
on the opposite side of the road. I don't understand. On the evening in question, Mr. Garadeb's book fell directly down from the open window above. And your bouquet, Mrs. Beat, never moved at all. What did move was the scene of the crime itself.
good gracious!
Objection!
Perhaps you haven't been listening to the ample testimony the court has heard. But these witnesses both saw the moment the attack took place.
That's right, I saw it with my own eyes.
It was 5 o'clock in the evening and already dark. There was a typical London fog on the ground. When you saw the incident unfold and ran to the victim's aid, that was actually on the west side of Briar Road.
No, that's not true. It can't have been.
Constable Beat then arranged for you to be absent for a while by sending you for help. And during the 15 minutes you were away, he transplanted the crime scene.
He moved all of the things shown in this print. The victim herself, the 4 books. He moved everything, in fact, to the pavement on the east side of Briar Road. Extraordinary. But the constable overlooked one thing. What? What did he overlook?
The bouquet, I presume.
Exactly. The prosecution told the court just a few minutes ago that the discovery of the rose bouquet, Lord Van Zieks said it wasn't noticed until the morning as it lay where the street lamp cast no light. Yes, it couldn't be seen in the dark, obviously. Which is why it was only the bouquet that was found at its original position on the pavement on the west side of Briar Road. And that is the defense's theory about what really happened that evening. How do you respond? Constable Rolly Beat. Well, I'm very sorry. I didn't mean to nod off again, but I haven't slept properly in a month. Did I miss anything important? Oh, Raleigh. It isn't true, is it? What the lawyer said is all lies, isn't it? I know it is, because you're the most upstanding, righteous man I know. I had a dream, a terrible dream. All the things I did that night, everything, come out, everything, exposed. Only, it seems, it wasn't a dream at all. Good golly! Order, order, order! What on earth is the meaning of all this? Oh, Rolly, why would you do something like that? Moving a corpse is a criminal offense, isn't it? She's not dead. Wishing the victim dead should be one too. Constable, explain yourself. Why would you do this? As a respected member of Scotland Yard, your duty is to protect the good people of London town. I can't say, sir. What? I really am ever so sorry about all this. For damaging the Yard's reputation, for everything. I have a possible explanation for why, on that particular evening, Constable Beat felt compelled to move the scene of the crime. I can really think of only one reason. How could you possibly know? You, a foreigner, presuming to understand the mind of a Scotland Yard policeman. And yet, Lord Van Zieks, it is this foreigner who has uncovered the startling truth of the matters yet thus far. I believe it would be beneficial for the court to hear this extraordinary young lawyer's theory. Counsel for the defense, if you please. Yes, my lord. Now then, I think you had better show us some evidence. At once, my lord. Gosh darn it. Gosh darn it. England, Japan, it makes no difference. Where you come from, human emotions are the same. And I think I have a fairly good idea of the feelings behind this man's actions. What gives away the motive for Constable Beat's unthinkable actions?
Take that!
Obviously. I realize that I'm a foreigner in this land, and I have only just arrived from Japan, which is why this information about London's so-called bobbies is completely new to me. I've learned that though honorable, patrolling the beat is the most demanding work in the world, for example. Keeping the peace, looking after the citizens of his beat is in all kinds of ways. There's no doubt that the young Bobby is charged with a great deal to do each day, certainly. But for Constable Beat, the day in question was special. Special how? On account of this bouquet, my lord. Oh yes, it was our very first wedding anniversary. Constable Beat had worked so hard to be able to afford this simple gift for his wife, and was so looking forward to taking her out for a celebratory meal. When he and Mrs. Beat stumbled upon a crime along Briar Road. When he saw that shadowy figure through the fog collapse on the pavement ahead of them. What must have gone through the man's mind? Gosh darn it. This is the warrant card that the Constable Beat offered to lend to me earlier. Inside, among the rules for patrolling policemen, it says, when a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman must assist with the initial investigations and help detectives. Aha! Constable Beat. Is that or is that not the reason why you moved the whole scene of the crime that day? Yes. Everything you said, it's all right. So that's it. It was all to do with the boundary of your beat. Oh. Exactly. To summarize, the incident actually occurred on Constable Beat's beat. Beat, 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 beat. His beat, 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 beat. Good gracious. Constable, do you realize the gravity of what you have done? It was the first time since I became a copper that I ever cursed God. The Beat Beat Manifesto. Hey, Vanderbeest, how are you doing? Stay close to me, Pat. The criminal could still be lurking somewhere. As we ran over to the scene, I had every intention of doing my duty as a police officer. We've got to report this to the station as quickly as possible. But then it dawned on me. I realized where we were, where the victim was lying, and what that meant for me. I'm doing good, a little bit sniffly. Which kind of sucks. Because I'm also dehydrated. But you were off duty. Surely, the officer who was on your beat, who was on duty, would have been the one that would have had to investigate. Help assist with the investigation. Not you. When a crime is discovered on his beat, a policeman must assist with initial investigations and help detectives. Why here? Why did this have to happen here? And why tonight of all nights? Why? It's a copper's job to guard the scene of the crime, so I told Pat she had to go to the nearest police box and fetch whoever was on duty there. It was then when I opened my mouth to speak. It just came out. I couldn't believe the words that were coming out of my own mouth. This is the next beat to mine, Pat. So you have to go to the police call box that covers it. Turn right along Mearsham Street and then... yes, sir, right, sir. All right, sir. Oh, look. His strap's out of his mouth. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh, Constable. Former Constable. I just wanted... just that one night to take my Patricia out for dinner. Oh, Rolly. Just that one night. You knew that if the incident was on your beat, your evening of celebration would be ruined. And so you decided to move the entire crime scene outside your jurisdiction. Just across the street. To the east pavement of Briar Road, which falls under the neighboring beat's care. You see, I thought, well, I was sure the victim was dead, you see. I beg your pardon? Oh, of course he did. Otherwise, my Raleigh would never have left the poor woman on the freezing cold pavement. Ah, I see your meaning now. But God got me back for my sins, didn't he? That's why I missed the rose I bought for Pat. Oh no, Rolly, that was all my fault. I should never have dropped it in such a dark place. I'm so sorry, Rolly. And can you tell us, Constable, how many books did you move from the one side of the road to the other in total? 4 it was, yes sir. Definitely 4. 3 of them dropped by Mr. Natsume, and the 4th being the one that fell from the window upstairs in the Garadeb household, of course. But what made you place that book in the victim's hand? When all the others were scattered haphazardly around, I mean. Oh, well, sir, that's because that's how I found it. How you found it? What do you mean? When we first ran over to the scene, the victim was already holding the book. So, when I moved everything, I made sure that it was still in her hand. You're sure it was this book, The Lion's Pride, that the victim was holding? Oh yes, sir. No doubt about it, sir. Interesting. The fourth book's information has been updated in the court record. Mrs. Beat ran first ran over to see what had happened. Was in the hand when was in the victim's hand. Blah, 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 blah. I thought it was an open and shut case at the time, you see. There were only 2 people at the scene, and Pat and me both saw it happen. However which way you look at it, it had to be the fellow who ran off who had done it, though, I thought. I couldn't see the harm, really. I didn't think moving it all over the road would make a jot of difference. I suppose this is for me now. This is it for me now. I've had it. My lord? Yes, Lord Van Zieks. I believe that concludes the cross-examination of the witnesses. Constable, you may withdraw. Yes, sir! Mr. Prosecutor, sir.
What will become of my Raleigh? What will happen to him? For now, you are free to go home. The police will contact you in due course. Please, don't punish my husband. This was all my fault. It's because I'm always moaning about him coming home late. Moaning at him for coming home late. Leave it now, Pat. Let's go home. I'm tired. All right then, my love. One last thing, Constable.
Sir?
Let this be a lesson to you. In a criminal investigation, every detail matters, however insignificant it may seem to you. Yes, sir. Carve that lesson into your mind. And never again make the same mistakes of tampering with the scene of a crime.
Never again, sir.
You mean to say, leave now. This trial is not yet over.
Sir? Well, quite a startling revelation, I must say. Whoever thought of a third party transplanting the entire scene of a crime like that?
Well, if you'd wait 100 years, you'd hear about it a lot more often. Indeed, my lord. Nevertheless, there are some immutable facts here, principally that the accused, Mr. Sosuke Natsume, is the only person who could have possibly have committed this crime.
Objection!
No, I disagree. Now that we know the true scene of the incident, there is someone else. Another person who could be responsible for the knife in the victim's back. Forgive me for being presumptuous, but I believe the prosecution is probably well aware of this possibility already.
Lord Van Zieks, is this true?
Very well. Name the person if you will, and if further investigation is warranted, the prosecution has no objections to the trial continuing.
You will name this other person who could have possibly perpetrated the crime.
Take that!
I mean, obviously, it's Joan Garrideb. The defense would once again like to request the cross-examination of a new witness, my lord.
Once again?
My assistant made the same request earlier, in order to finally reveal the truth about this case. It's imperative that we cross-examine juror number 4, Mrs. Joan Garrideb. Me? Oh, dearie me!
Objection!
That request has already been denied.
Objection!
But the situation is very different now. Mrs. Garrideb, answer me this. What do you want now, you little toad? At the time of the incident, you were engaged in a violent argument with your husband, Mr. John Garrideb. In the course of the argument, a minor house fire was ignited. And to clear the smoke from the room, your husband opened a window that looks out over Briar Road. Well, what of it? You threw this book at your husband when he was cornered with his back against the window. Upon striking the pane of the open top hinge casement window, the book plummeted directly down, finding its way to what we now know to be the true scene of the incident. Yes, as I said, what of it? During the argument, you were beside yourself with rage. As such, you threw not just books, but anything you could lay your hands on. So, let me ask you one more time, Mrs. Garrideb. This knife, the one removed from the victim's back, have you really never laid eyes on it before? Ah! I don't recall it. Seriously? Am I supposed to remember everything I pick up and threw at my husband? And anyway, the man over there with all the regalia said members of the jury needn't testify, didn't he? Conveniently, yes.
Objection!
No, I have not. I have no recollection of saying that at all, juror number 4. Make no mistake, you jurors are not special in any way. You are not immune to the judicial process. If you know something about this knife, madam, let the truth come out. But that's just a common or garden knife. It could have come from anywhere. We have several like it at home. If one went missing, how would you expect me to know? What's that? Are you joking? What are you saying, please, Mrs. Garrett? Yes, what are you saying? Now listen to me. Now you listen to me. I refuse to believe all this nonsense. I couldn't bear the thought that I'd injured someone. Do you hear? I couldn't bear it. Oh, the poor woman. So, yes, I want evidence. I want to see hard evidence if you're going to insist on this being my fault. You're going to have to prove to me that I threw that knife, if that's what you think. Come on now. Come along now. Chop chop. Do your worst. Well, Mr. Naruhodo, if I had any evidence like that, believe me, I would have thrown it at her already. Then take the stand, juror. Oh! The prosecution does not object to the defense's request to cross-examine this woman. Thank you, Lord Van Zieks. I'm going to have to testify. I mean, this is why she... Juror number 4. As I'm sure you will appreciate, having observed it with your own eyes today, witness testimony can lead to the most extraordinary truths of being unearthed. Truths of which the witnesses themselves may not even have been aware. Oh, dearie me. So I demand your full and unadulterated testimony, Mrs. Garrideb. And mark my words, in this court of law today, we shall extract the truth. Do you concur, counsels? Certainly, my lord. Oh, that's what I'm hoping for, my lord. This is such a strange feeling. For the first time since arriving in this country, it actually feels real. I'm here in the Old Bailey, and I'm a lawyer. Witness, state your name and occupation. Oh, yes, my name is Joan Garrideb. And I'm, well, I'm a juror, and such like. It sounds like even she doesn't know if she's a housewife or a maid or what anymore. The court has decided that your testimony is required in order to clarify matters in this case. Do you understand, madam? Yes, my lord. Yes, my lord. You will tell the court everything that took place in your household on the evening in question. And I warn you, do not attempt to hide the truth.
Oh, dearie me. Chin up, Junie. Nothing to worry about now. Oh, I didn't know you were here, John. It wasn't only you in the room that day, old thing, was it? Rather think I ought to testify as well, don't you? But what about your knee, dear? Don't you worry about that. Hardly notice it. I'm not the sort of chap to leave a comrade to face disciplinary action alone. Oh, John. I presume you are Mr. John Garrideb. Yes, sir. Former second lieutenant of the 3rd Regiment and of the 4th Northumberland's Fusiliers, sir. Fusiliers? I don't know if that's right. I'm guessing. Seen my fair share of action and now living the quiet life, as it were.
The quiet life. Were you not engaged in an incendiary battle with your spouse on the day in question?
Ah, well, yes, quite. I believe this may represent a first in the proud history of the British court. Calling a juror to the witness stand is unprecedented. However, the court will hear your testimony now, juror number 4, and that of your husband. You will recount clearly and concisely the events in your home at the time of the incident in question. Sir, at once. Witness testimony. The Battle of Garrideb. Yes, on the day you're referring to, the wife and I did have a bit of a skirmish. Can't recall the reason now. Knocked a candlestick over and set fire to the carpet. Soon had it out, though, and got the window open. Meanwhile, I was picking up whatever I could find to throw at him. Plenty of knives around our place. Can't say I'd noticed 1 or 2 went missing, I'm afraid. If that bally thing in the victim's back really was one of ours, you'll have a job proving it, I think. It sounds as though it was quite the battlefield in your household that evening.
Although, an entirely one-sided assault, it seems.
The enemy caught us on the hop, sir. Had no chance but to dig in and take defensive measures. To be honest, if the enemy had kept shelling us for another minute, we'd have been toast. Literally. Of course, a veteran such as myself is only too aware that on every battlefield, you're just a gnat's whiskers from death at any moment.
Are we still talking about the marital quarrel here?
Well, I must say I'm dubious that this testimony will shed any light on the origins of this jackknife.
In combat, one's focus narrows such that surroundings are barely noticed. These witnesses may not be able to offer anything more than they have testified already. This may be a dead end. Van Zieks may well be right. Well, whatever the chances, we only have this last cross-examination to uncover the truth, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, I'm afraid so.
Very well, counsel. Begin your cross-examination.
Hold it!
The reason? Is what you told us yesterday, I believe. Yes, that's right. If I remember correctly, it all started because of a note that was tucked into the pages of a book belonging to Mr. Garrideb. A rather passionate note, in fact. But Mrs. Garrideb found the note, discovering her husband's
discovering her husband's little secret, and she gave him a mighty number of slaps across the face for it, too. Oops, that's the wrong button. I did say sniffly. Oops. What a sordid affair.
Hell on earth. Hell on earth.
I say, when a chap says he can't recall such a thing, it's common decently not to drag it all up. And besides, half of it was wide of the mark anyway. A likely story. These waters run very deep. And what transpired next after these multiple blows to the face?
Hold it!
And the fire also spread to some items of furniture, didn't it? The bookcase, my armchair, anything of mine, really. Just so happens there was some bath water around the evening, so I sloshed that about to put it out. A most precarious position to put yourself in. Ours is a 3-story townhouse on the west side of the street, where the water main isn't connected yet. Have to draw water from a water public pump during the day if you need any, you see. The lodgers are always moaning that they can't get any water at night. Although that little mustached Japanese man buys water in bottles, I believe. The defendant, Mr. Natsume, you mean? Yes, he receives a stipend for his studies. You know, from his home country. Can you imagine being able to brew a pot of tea at all hours? He's obviously very well off. No. Have you actually seen the state of the man? I believe he uses all of his income to buy books. Well, anyway, the point is, I was able to douse the fire with water, fortunately enough.
Hold it!
Even though the room was on fire. As far as I was concerned at the time, it was more important to extinguish my anger than the flames. When a woman wants to throw, she must throw. That is most certainly not true of a Susato takedown, Mr. Naruhodo. How did she know I was thinking that? So, please cast your mind back and try to remember. Was a knife among the items you threw at your husband that day? In all honesty, I don't recall, but I feel I must point out that I'm no monster. Let me see, some bread, a cabbage, garlic, a towel, and a sponge.
Excuse me.
By Jupiter! Do you have something to add, sir? Mr. Garadeb. Eh? Don't shoot! Oh, sorry. I beg your pardon. Did your wife's remark just now bring something to mind? Nothing of any significance, no. Just that barrage of projectiles the old thing launched in my direction was somewhat more solid than she implies. Books, bricks, and the fire poker, I seem to recall. Ouch. And the woman's aim is uncanny. She landed a direct hit at... She landed a direct hit with every ball. Ah, good grief, woman! This is not we're not at home now. This is a court of law. Oh, dearie me, ever so sorry, dear. What's she even doing with the teapot in here? Honestly, John, I would never have thrown such things at you, obviously. Well, take a look at this then. How do you suppose that happened, Your pipe, sir. Had this thing in my hand as usual at the time of the onslaught. Knocked it clean out with one of her soft projectiles, she did, yes. And when I went to pick the thing up, it was broken in two. I'd like to see a sponge do that sort of damage. I see. Your pipe was broken. It would never have been sent to... It would never have been sent flying unless it was hit with something pretty solid. Anyway, I've managed to bandage the thing up for now. You are one to exaggerate, aren't you, dearie? Aren't you, dear? I wonder what we should make of this account. It could be significant. The defense believed Mr. Garibald's remarks just now to be of great significance.
Objection.
These war veterans' words tell us only one thing. Only tell us one thing. Betray a fiery wife, and pipes as well as hearts may be broken. Sentimental wisdom, perhaps, but hardly worthy of adding to the formal testimony.
Indeed, common sense, one might say.
Might one? In that case, would you at least permit us to examine the pipe, sir?
Well, I don't see why not.
Oh, dearie me, there you go again, trying to ingratiate yourself with a young lady.
Very well, the court will accept the gentleman's pipe as evidence. The pipe has been added to the court record. Mr. Garibald's pipe apparently fell to the floor during the domestic dispute he had with his wife and broke.
I hope I didn't speak out of turn, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, something just twinkled inside the chamber of the pipe there. Yes, I saw it. Something stuck in there, I think. Let's turn it over and give it a shake. What's this? It's a tiny fragment of metal. It looks like the tip of a blade or something. The tip of a blade? Surely, it couldn't be. The fragment of metal has been entered into the court record. The small piece of metal looks like it might be the tip of a knife blade. It was stuck inside the bowl of Mr. Garibald's pipe. This is the tiny piece of metal we found in the chamber of Mr. Garibald's pipe. It looks like the tip of a blade or something. The tip of a blade? Is something wrong, Mr. Naruhodo? I don't really know. There's just something niggling me, but I can't quite put my finger on what it is. Perhaps in that case, it would be wise to examine some other pieces of evidence again. Oh, look here, Mr. Naruhodo. Just at the tip, a small piece of blade appears to be missing. Wait, part of it's missing? I could be wrong, but I've just got a feeling. Remember this? Ah, that's the tiny fragment of metal we found inside Mr. Garibald's pipe. Yes. And just maybe... Oh my, it's a perfect fit. Somehow, I just knew it. I was just feeling rather disappointed that for you that your request was turned down. Oh no, it's fine. Thanks to Susato-san, we have some new evidence to work with. We should examine it carefully.
Well, thank you for that rebuttal, Mr. Garrideb. Now, if we could return to the crux of the matter, what can you tell the court about the knife used to attack the victim?
Okay, let's do a quick save. Did I not? Well, no, I didn't read that because obviously it's stuff we already read. That's why I didn't read it. Do I present this? Or do I present this?
Objection.
I present that. Mr. Garrideb, can I ask you to take a good look at this piece? At this, please?
You can ask, but I can't see the bully.
See a bully thing. You can't?
Used to be called Dead-Eye Deb. Back in the regiment, of course. But that was some time ago now. Even when I'm trying to enjoy a large print book by the fire these days, I struggle to tell a B from a D and a P from a Q. To be honest, a lowercase b from a lowercase d and a lowercase p from a lowercase q.
Oh, he does, dearie me. It's rather wearying being asked about every other letter in every other word. You must be very duzzy. Why? Yeah. But this is mean. That over there, right there, is mean. What is that? A tiny scrap of metal. Yes, almost certainly from the tip of a blade. And what may appear at first to be just a tiny scrap is in fact a crucial piece of evidence. Interesting. And where did the defense come by this evidence? It was lodged in the chamber of Mr. Garrideb's pipe.
My pipe, you say? By Jove, I wonder how that got there.
And what precisely does this fragment of metal signify, Counsel?
Are you suggesting it is in some way related to the matter of the stabbing on Briar Road?
I am.
What?
When I put it together with another piece of evidence already in the court record, I believe this tiny fragment of metal will unravel the whole truth of this case, my lord.
You appear rather confident of that extraordinary statement, Counsel. Very well, then. Present the pertinent evidence to the court. What evidence, when paired with this fragment of metal, allegedly reveals the truth of this entire case?
Take that!
This is the knife that was found in the victim's back. If you look closely, you'll see that there is a small piece at the tip of the blade that is missing. A common issue with the inferior blades sold at unsavory street markets. Criminals who use them regularly leave the tips lodged in their victims' bones.
And what of this particular knife?
No doubt, but its tip has suffered a similar fate, now languishing somewhere in the spine, near the spine of the victim. No, that's not the case. The tip of this particular knife's blade is the very fragment of metal we discovered in the chamber of Mr. Garrideb's pipe.
Good grief, Lord Van Zieks.
I don't believe it. The knife from the crime scene and this fragment of metal are a perfect match. Good golly gosh! That was a nice touch. I don't know if you... It was so quick, I don't know whether or not you noticed it. But Mr. Garadeb's robe is also burnt. Alright, let's take a look at the history here. Order! 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 Is this some sort of Eastern sorcery? This is no magic, my lord. This is a miracle. A miracle? So, Van Zieks has figured it out, has he? Council, explain this extraordinary coincidence at once. Yes, my lord. The crucial point we have to ask ourselves is here. Ask ourselves here is when did the fragment of metal find its way inside Mr. Garadeb's pipe? Something that was clarified for us in the most recent witness testimony. Dooby-dooby-doo. Oh dearie me. I don't know which one that was. During the argument between these two that occurred, just as the victim was on the pavement below, Mrs. Garadeb flung this knife at her husband. However, the knife missed Mr. Garadeb in his stride, striking the pipe in his hand at the time, which caused the tip to break off. Of course. Good lord! Yes, and that is when the tiny tip of the blade found its way inside Mr. Garadeb's pipe. The chances of that are 1,000,000 to 1. Are 1,000,000 to 1. And yet, there's no other credible explanation of how the tip of the blade ended up in your pipe. Then, after losing its tip, the knife ricocheted off the pipe and flew out of the open window. Oh! In short, this knife, which fell from the window of the Garadeb's house, is the very same knife that struck the victim in the middle of the back on the street below. Oh gosh, oh dear, oh! No!
Objection!
They have tea, why can't I have wine? A full-bodied theory, I'll give you that. A complex bouquet of seemingly trivial points plausibly arranged to create an almost passable vintage. Allow me to toast my learned friend's characteristically Nipponese approach to bottling his argument. Sorry? But after all, it's just a theory. A food theory. The bottle I feed is corked. So for those that don't know, a bottle of wine that is corked, there's a bacteria that lives inside corks that will actually affect the wine. And while not dangerous, it does decrease the enjoyable aspects of the wine. Because you see, it's spoilt by an insurmountable inconsistency. An insurmountable... What? Lord Van Zieks, explain yourself and please get your boot off of the table. What is this inconsistency you claim to have identified? An inconsistency of the simplest nature, my lord. The victim was found with the knife planted in the middle of her back. Yes, in her... Ah. With a book in her hand. From the same location. I wonder. Perhaps she was bending over picking up the book when the knife stabbed her in the back. What do you think? How would that slap leave that handprint? And as I said previously, there's no way that a person could leave a slap like that on another person. You'd have to hit them like this. But there's no way from the front you could leave a slap mark like that. Unless you... Yeah, I don't know how you would do that from the front. That's right, you silly little man. Now, Jono thing, what are you getting so excited about? Let us consider the basic facts of the case for once more. The victim was walking along the pavement before being stabbed in the back and falling to the ground. If the knife that struck her had fallen from above, there was no possible way it could have planted itself into the victim's back. Yeah! Are you... I seriously sometimes feel like he's just... Order! Quite right! You see, that's exactly right! If the knife had fallen on her from above... it would have struck her on the top of her head. Well, he's lost for words. Look! I knew it. I never liked his theory in the first place. I don't know, though, what really did happen. It would appear the defense has made a rather spectacular blunder. No. It's just everybody's being taken in by Van Zieks. Again. If a theory has even one inconsistency, it cannot stand. Your theory, my learned friend, is history. Oh, come on. Don't... We were so close. I could see the truth. I was so sure we were on the right track. But now the way has been blocked completely by just one simple inconsistency. Why? Or in other words, we simply need to eliminate that one inconsistency, and the theory will stand. Which is easy to do. Easy to do. We've already got the answer. Miss Susato? You mustn't worry, Mr. Naruhodo. You were just caught off guard, that's all. And your mind went blank. I don't know how I could have been caught off guard with this one. It's been what we've been fighting the entire time. Why would she have had the book in her hand? How did she get it? Blah, 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 blah. But if the path you were on is indeed the correct one, then a way will present itself. The key is in the court record, I'm sure. All the information you need is there. It seems you have nothing to say, my Nipponese friend. Well, your silence speaks volumes. A tacit acceptance that your theory is fatally flawed.
Objection!
We've already got the answer. We've already had it explained. This inconsistency doesn't mean I was on the wrong track. It means that I need to sharpen my mind and dig deeper for the truth. It's a test. Yes! If the knife fell on the victim from above, there's no way it could have hit her in the middle of her back. Under normal circumstances, that is. What are you implying?
Counsel?
There is a piece of evidence in the court record that can explain this inconsistency. That can explain how the knife fell from above and could have pierced the victim's back. We already have the answer.
Goodness! Utter madness! Surely this must be the last time. Counsel, present the evidence of which you speak.
Yes, my lord. This is the last inconsistency, the final piece in the puzzle. If I can successfully make sense of this, the truth will be laid bare at last. The evidence that explains how the falling knife became lodged in the victim's back is...
Take that!
This, the fourth book found at the scene. This is the final piece of evidence that the defense will present. The burnt book.
Is that not Mr. Geradeb's book?
And to understand its significance, we have to consider how it came to be at the scene in the first place. And this photographic print clearly shows the book in question, and the victim holding it in her hand. But as we all know, it was the police constable that put the book between her fingers like that.
Quite so, as part of his wholesale transplanting of the crime scene to the opposite side of the road.
That's true. However, as part of his testimony, Constable B made an extremely enlightening statement on that point.
Blah, 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 blah.
In other words, the victim had already picked the book up of her own volition. And clearly, that must have been before she suffered the knife wound.
Well, I should say so.
After being attacked with a knife, I don't imagine she'd have been doing much of anything. So, the question becomes, why did the victim have the book in her hand?
By jingo! I think I'm beginning to see what may have happened now.
Oh, dearie me. We know that the book fell from the top floor of the Geradeb household onto the pavement below, at precisely the moment that the victim was walking past. Yes, exactly that moment. But the young woman was walking along the side of the street, in the light fog, when all of a sudden, a book fell right in front of her. The book I threw. Yes, Mrs. Geradeb, and what do you think the woman did? What would you do if you were walking along and suddenly a book landed in front of you on the pavement? Well, I really can't imagine it. But I suppose she might have reached down and picked up the book. Yes, that's exactly what the woman in fact did. She picked up the book. Oh heavens! And when the woman reached down to pick up the fallen book, what position would her back have been in? That's right, facing the sky, completely and utterly defenseless. Then, in the very next moment, while the woman was still bent over, picking up the book, the next object fell from the room above, the jackknife, straight into the middle of her back. And at that moment, at that same time, walking by chance directly behind Miss Green, was the defendant, Mr. Sosuke Natsume. Well, I never... Whoops, wrong voice. Well, I never. It appeared to Mr. Natsume that the woman simply collapsed on the floor. In the dark fog, he didn't see the knife falling on her from above. And from the other direction, the constable and his wife saw no one but the victim and her apparent attacker.
So there never was a real culprit to run from the scene in the first place.
No, this was nothing more than a series of unlikely events that culminated in an unfortunate accident. And that is the real truth behind this case. Right now, that's kind of giving me Danganronpa vibes. And that's the real truth! Well, Mr. and Mrs. Garadeb? The very first time you showed me that knife, I had my suspicions. I wondered if perhaps it might have been something like that.
There, old bean.
Poor Mrs. Garadeb. Of course, I never meant for anything of the sort to happen, but it was all my fault, wasn't it? I take full responsibility. I let my anger get the better of me and I threw that book. And then I threw the knife as well. John, dear.
It's all right, I know.
I'm ever so sorry. Truly. I'm sorry! Oh, Iron Horse stance.
Lord Van Zieks, what news of Mrs. Garadeb?
She's been taken to the infirmary. It would appear that today's events had left her in an especially flustered state. However, I believe she will recover in due course. There is no cause for concern.
Yes, unbeknownst to themselves, they caused what could easily have been a terrible tragedy. They shall have to prepare themselves for the consequences of their actions.
I don't know what this would be classified on as under, I don't know what this would be classified as far as a crime. Because it's not manslaughter or involuntary manslaughter. Because the person did not die. I don't know if there's an involuntary assault. There is some good news, however, my lord. I have just had word from the hospital where the victim is being treated. Her condition is improving steadily, and the doctor believes she will regain consciousness soon. It's strange, we've been talking about the victim all this time, but we never once met her. How wonderful! The woman is out of danger, it seems. Yes, that is good news. Mr. Sosuke Natsume.
Yes. On behalf of my fellow countrymen, I would like to take this opportunity to beg your pardon, sir. You came from your distant eastern homeland to study our great British culture and have been repaid with immeasurable unkindness. Please accept our heartfelt apologies.
No.
It is me who should be begging your pardon.
Oh no, Mr. Natsume.
That evening, when the young woman just collapsed on the pavement before my eyes, I jumped to the wrong conclusion again in my confusion. What conclusion, sir? I was sure that the woman was dead. I mean, I think this is well, no, they should have known how to check for pulses. Yes, Constable Beat said the same thing, didn't he? He thought she had been killed too. I suppose she must have looked completely lifeless. It's been about a year since I arrived in Great Britain now. I still can't get used to life here. I can't relax. I'm sure there are evil spirits lurking in the fog, like they're haunting me. Poor Sosuke-san. His imagination really has got the better of him. Yes, poor man. So when it happened, I thought the young woman had been taken by the fog spirits. I should never have dropped my books like that and run away. I should have called for help, for a doctor, for the police! Instead, I've managed to create a rift in the relationship of trust between our two empires. For that, I am truly sorry. One could indeed say that some sort of mischievous spirit has been at work here, I think. One that created a chain of unfortunate mishaps. We were befooled by this spirit and led to false conclusions. Thanks to Lord Van Zieks? Really? Thanks to Lord Van Zieks, who routinely kept saying, yeah. But thanks to Lord Van Zieks and our young lawyer here from the east, that chain has now been broken and the spirit exorcised. I heartily commend you both. Oh. Now then, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Yes, my lord. In the concluding of this trial, I must ask one last time for your decision regarding the defendant's culpability. Are you ready to present your findings to the court? As the foreman of the jury, I can assure you we've reached a fair and just conclusion. I do declare the truth can be extremely cruel at times. Well, I didn't suspect the woman next to me, that's for sure. Sitting in for the old bean while she's out of action, you know, but I know what her decision would be. Does this mean I'll finally be able to get out of here and start work? Well, it's about time. Oh, I say, I'll have a corker of a story to tell the grandchildren when I get home, won't I? Very well, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I hereby demand your final decisions. Mr. Foreman?
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Very well, Mr. Sasuke Natsume, I hereby pronounce you not guilty. And finally, Mr. Natsume. Oh, yes, Lord Sir. Yes, yeah. You are now a free man once more. It is my hope that you will continue to further your education in British culture. And may you never again be brought before me. Oh, yes, sir, of course. Can't remember what he sounded like before, I'm sorry. On my life, I swear I'll never set foot in a courtroom again! Transported to tears! There he goes again, trying for the Ginyu Force, which is still, you know, more than 100 years away. Thank you, counsels. Court is adjourned. '20th of February, 3:17 p.m. The Old Bailey Defendant's Antechamber. Okay, so there you go. It has been 3 days since the crime, or, well, yeah, since the incident occurred. Oh, locum. Wait, you mean me? Of course! Is there another locum here? Is there even one? Compared to the original locum student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire, your name has become rather short, hasn't it? What's wrong with us using my actual name? Oh, at least I'm free. At least I'm at last I'm free! I'm free! Joyful, joyous, jubilant jubilation! Heady, hearty happiness, hurrah! Oh, I'm pleased Mr. Natsume is delighted. Would it be so hard just to say that then? Locum, you did it! You saved me from the brink! Well, what happened to the poor woman was in no way your fault after all. I'm just glad everyone can see that now. No, not that! Lovely, loyal locum lawyer! Yes? I mean, as I said before, I have just never got used to life in Great Britain. Every time I look over my shoulder, I see foreigners. I see towering brick buildings. And from high up buildings, I see them looking down at me, laughing. Look at that hunchback. Oh dear. I'm sure it's all in your head, Mr. Natsume. But today, you locum lawyer gave my gloom the boot. You stood firm behind that baronial bench before all those babbling British. You battled to the bitter end, laying bare the baffling truth. And when I beheld the blinding fireworks among the beams of the Bailey's roof, I bellowed, "Behold the best barrister ever born!" Barrister, excuse me. That's very flattering, and we're very pleased for you. This has given me a wonderful antidote to recount to my old friends back in Japan. An antidote? Anecdote? Is that what's become of all my hard work? Or whoops. Is that what's become of all my hard work? Ah, there you are, my dear fellows. I apologize for keeping you waiting. I rose late this morning. Oh, Mr. Sholmes, what a pleasure it is to see you. I see I'm here not a moment too soon. A disaster has been averted, I'm glad to say. Oh? The trial shall begin presently, Mr. Naruhodo, and I wish you the very best luck. It's just finished. What? No! Then my haste was in vain. It's you! Herlock Sholmes. Herlock Sholmes. Oh, have we met, sir? This is Mr. Natsume, the man you arrested, Mr. Sholmes? Ah, I see. I failed to recognize you at first. Our previous encounters have taken place in the gloom, either of your bleak lodgings or in that prison cell. I simply couldn't place that curious face in the light. Charming. This is all your fault, Herlock Sholmes. Herlock Sholmes. You're the reason I had to go through this terrible ordeal. I'm going to give you a piece of my mind. My apologies, sir, but I assure you, I have placed you now. You're the fellow who abandoned that poor young woman and ran off, are you not? Ah. Had she been taken to a hospital more urgently, I feel perhaps she would have regained consciousness by now. Oh. But it was unavoidable, I'm sure. We are but humans after all. Anyone would have been shaken by such an experience. I do feel very badly about how I behaved. Well, never mind now. Now then, what was it you wanted to say to me, sir? Whoops, wrong button. Nothing. Priceless. Oh, I am sorry, really, but that was quite priceless. Soski-san. Still, on the bright side, you've had an extremely entertaining experience without paying a penny. And it would seem you were not even found guilty. But there is no bright side. Whatever do you mean, Natsume? Mr. Natsume. Even after this, I'm still cursed by the spirits and now by the Reaper. Ah. Lord Van Zieks. I haven't forgotten, you know, what facing that man in court means. Even if you're found not guilty, you're still doomed. It will be all right, Mr. Natsume. If the Reaper appears trying to make trouble, I will protect you. Hiya! With the perfectly executed Susato takedown. Much as I like being turned on my head, a bit of a warning might be nice next time, Miss Susato. So, Mr. Natsume, what do you intend to do now? You mentioned something about recounting your experiences to your friends back in Japan? Yes, I intend to return to my homeland soon. Oh. It has already been a year since I arrived here in Great Britain. I've visited universities, libraries, bookshops. I've even been honored with the tutelage of professors. I've learned so much about the wealth of literature here and the city it has shaped. And I've come to realize that it's my calling to sail home and tell my fellow countrymen about it. That's very touching, Mr. Natsume. Or, in perhaps less veiled terms, you wish to withdraw halfway around the world to escape the terror of the Reaper's curse. That's not it at all! The more I learn of literature, the more this strange feeling claws at my insides. I feel compelled to return to my roots and attempt to pen a work of my own. Oh, I see. A work of literature by Sosuke-san. Could be an interesting read. And what about Miss Susato and yourself, Mr. Naruhodo? Sorry, what about us? Will you return to Japan alongside your mustached compatriot? Why would we? A week has not yet passed since we've arrived in London. A week has not yet passed since we arrived in London. And only now does it feel as though we finally have our feet on the ground. Have we found our fate? And you are accommodated in a hotel at present, are you not? That's right, but we need to find lodgings before it bankrupts us. I've calculated we can only afford 10 nights before our entire budget is exhausted. Well then, you could take my lodgings. Oh, the windowless room? Ah, but what it lacks in windows, it more than makes up for with the floor and the ceiling and walls. Great. And of course, I'd be happy to leave behind the accursed evil spirit. Oh my, an evil spirit? Oh yes. It tries to suffocate you while you sleep. It's an infallible wake-up call. Infallible wake-up call. Well, we'll think about that if that's all right. Perhaps I can offer a more welcome alternative. Would you all consider taking lodgings with me? Really? Well, a vacancy has conveniently presented itself. Though it is up in the attic, I might add. Are you sure it isn't just the storage loft? I spoke with the landlady this very morning on the matter of price, and Iris is cleaning the room as we speak. You must come at once. I presume you have no luggage to speak of. Oh, this is simply wonderful. What an honor to be invited to take lodgings in the great detective's office's attic. I'm too overcome with words. So suggesting we look elsewhere is out then. Then it's settled. Iris will prepare a welcome dinner this evening. And you must come too, Mr. Natsume, I insist. I don't know what to say, but thank you and yes. Wonderful. Then I'll go and complete the paperwork for your formal release, Mr. Natsume. I shan't take long. Somebody's happy. Locum, I knew you wouldn't let me down. I'm truly delighted to have met you here in London. Likewise, Mr. Natsume. It's been a privilege meeting you too. It's a shame that we're going to have to say goodbye so soon. Well, I've come to realize that I belong in Japan. But Locum, we'll meet again one day. Yes, I'm sure. Yes, I'm sure. And hopefully by then I'll be a successful lawyer. Raise your hand if you don't think he's already successful. He's successfully completed 2 trials with not guilty, 3 trials technically. Or if you count the investigation on the ship. And hopefully by then, I'll be a successful lawyer. Whoops. Oh, I already read that part. Hopefully by then, I'll be a successful author. Well, my dear fellow, our carriage appears to have arrived. Shall we go, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes, Mr. Sholmes. I've little doubt that Mr. Natsume will be released in time for dinner this evening. And so, with Sosuke-san's innocence successfully established, we rode with Mr. Sholmes to what was to become our new home, 221B Baker Street. That's storage for you. 20th of February, 4:41 p.m., the attic room. So this is to be our new office, yes. Our office? I really like the sound of that. Me too, it's simply wonderful. Isn't it? I hope you can see this, Kazuma. It's only a small step. But I'd like to think we're getting a little closer to your dream now. So, my dear fellows, do you like the place? Oh, so that's what he looks like without his regalia. Ah, Mr. Sholmes, yes, thank you so much. It's a delightful room, Mr. Sholmes. I simply adore it. Good. I'm pleased to hear it. Iris and I are delighted to welcome you. I hope everyone's hungry. It's nearly time for dinner. We'll eat as soon as Mr. Natsume arrives. We have a lot to celebrate. Iris, you must let me help you. All right then, Susie. You can be in charge of the salad. Splendid. So, Mr. Naruhodo, how does it feel? To have your own office in the capital. It's very exciting, actually. I can't help but wonder what adventures await us. Those were precisely my sentiments when I first established my office at these premises. Until I discovered the dark truth about the city of London, that is. Sorry? London is a glorious place full of wonder and opportunity, prosperity and mirth. But the brightest of lights cast the darkest of shadows. Shadows? What do you mean? Well, I believe you're well aware of the murkiness that lies behind London's facade already. So once again, Mr. Naruhodo, welcome to London. Of course, at the time, I had no idea of the significance of those words Mr. Shum so casually spoke. But it wasn't long before my turn came to lift the facade and see the true depth of the murk that lay behind it. End. Why, yes, I will save my progress. Sneak peek, says Pokey. I'm sorry, Pokey, but you know the rules. The Hound of the Baskervilles. Interesting. No sneak peeks. No! I do want to say thank you for watching. Thank you for everybody's time. I'm going to end the stream here. I do appreciate it. So, I will see everybody tomorrow, where we are going to continue Clear Obscure Expedition 33. But until then, take care, everybody, and goodbye.